It's the fantastic 50th issue of Tommy Reads X-Men. I can't believe it, but let's get to it. Tommy Reads X-Men. Tommy Reads X-Men. It's cool. What's going on? It's your boy back at you again with another issue of Tommy Reads X-Men. Today, we are looking at X-Men number 50 from November 1968, written by Arnold Drake with art by Warner Roth. But before we get to that, I'm actually going to leave a timestamp on the bottom here, so if you want to get just to the review, then please check that out. But allow me to wax philosophical a little bit about 50 issues of Tommy Reads X-Men. 50 issues, man. I can't believe it. Like, when I started this around a year ago, a little bit more, I didn't think I would get here. I thought, like, maybe once work and the pandemic kind of slowed down, I would stop, doing these, but it's something I've really enjoyed doing. It's something I enjoy talking to you guys out here. I enjoy the people who leave me comments and, like the video. More than that, I appreciate talking about comics and movies and pop culture. Talking X-Men, it's something I've loved my entire life. And I just, really appreciate the support I've been getting from everyone in doing this. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So we've done 50 issues, so here's hopefully to 150 more. I might regret saying that in the future, but for the foreseeable future, I love what I'm doing, man. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it. Now on to the review. X-Men number 50, written November 1968 by Arnold Drake with art by Warner Roth. This one is called Hail, the Queen of Mutants. Should be a good one. We pick up pretty much where we left off from the last issue with Lorna Dane. Not Polaris yet, but she's Polaris. Lorna Dane kidnapped, Bobby Drake paralyzed by some ray gun that this guy who they're calling Mesmero now. Now, last issue, he tried calling himself Magneto and then kind of backtracked it a little bit, be like, oh, Magneto's like my master, and so I'm taking his mantle. Nah, you ain't Mag, son. So don't even try to take the mantle, you know what I mean? Anyway, Mesmero is what he's being called. He has the mutants kidnapped and they take him to his lair, or his little place that he's calling Mutant City. Now, there should be a better name than that, Genosha, Krakoa, but we ain't there yet. But Mutant City is where Lorna and Bobby have been taken. Now, Mesmero has this long moniker. I don't know if the henchman gave it to him, but that's what, one of the henchmen said. You hear what Larry's calling Mez now? He's calling him Keeper of the Flame of Magneto, Emperor of all mutants. Now, that is a long title. He couldn't just be Chief or Mello, something like that. They had to go with that long-ass thing. Anyway, it was a weird title. Now, Mesmero is throw Bobby in jail or whatever. He's paralyzed. He's doing the Miss Doubtfire hot dog impression. If I can work that in every video, I will. So, Lorna, he's throw her in the MES, the Mutant Energy Simulator. What? It's basically like a big old contraption that will unlock your latent mutant ability. And that's what they do. They decide to throw her in there. And Bobby, instead of throwing him in the cell like he asked, they just kind of leave him there lying. He's all chained up. Why? I don't know. If he was paralyzed, why would they need to chain him up? In case he suddenly snaps out of it? You guys don't have any, faith in your sleeping machines like Doc Brown and Jennifer? Now, you may be asking yourself, where's the X-Men? And that's a good question, because they suddenly show up on the island. What? Now, the X-Men, last time we saw them, were in San Francisco looking for, Magneto's henchmen or whoever's causing these shenanigans. We didn't see them find out, A, Bobby and Lorna were kidnapped, B, where they going, because Mutant City ain't on no Google Maps. I'll tell you that for free, I looked. And C, usually I go A, B, 3. A, B, C, we learn it in 50 issues. A, B, C, they didn't tell us how they got there. I mean, they could have probably used the Avengers rocket they stole, but still, the X-Men are just showing up for reasons. I'm going to go with Jean put a psychic trace on Bobby like she did a couple issues back to a robot or whatever, and that's the excuse. But come on, give us more than that, Arnold Drake. Now, the X-Men get there, and they're battling some henchmen, and they're having a good old time, to be honest. They're quipping with each other, oh, Hank, toss one my way. And then Angel's boom, boom, air punch, and they're starting to be real cocky. The X-Men are in no real threat with these henchmen until the henchmen decide to smarten it up, and these guys are having a good old time punching them around, and they use some knockout gas, take out the X-Men. That is karma choking you in the form of knockout gas, X-Men. You know better than that. Charles done taught you better. Papa Chuck would be crying in his grave if I believed he was dead. Now, the smart thing would say to take the X-Men to some kind of holding cell away from the shenanigans going on, but no. The henchmen just kind of toss him in a pile right next to Iceman. And he's like, you know what, henchmen? And they're like, Mez, what's up? And they're like, if they wake up, I'm going to straight up kill Iceman. You let them know when they wake up. Oh, they're waking up? They heard me? Okay. Well, as long as you heard it. Mesmero decides to hit the X-Men and us, the reader, with a bomb piece of information. Now, we know, because this was hella years ago, but for the big reveal, he tells them that Lorna here, who's hooked up to this machine, is Magneto's daughter. What? I'm gonna keep going. What? Magneto's daughter. For reals. Magneto be getting busy, y'all. And the X-Men like, oh, well. And so Mesmero is like, yeah, she's Magneto's daughter, like I just said, and she's the Queen of Mutants. That's why they called it that in the title. You thought you knew, but you didn't know. But you kind of knew. Now, despite the warning that Bobby was gonna get 86th, Jean said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and free him. Boom, boom. And she uses her mental power, which is getting stronger by the day, and frees him from his shackles. The X-Men are free. Now Lorna uses her powers for the first time. A Polaris-like thing, except we won't call her that yet. But she uses her powers not to harm the X-Men, which is what they thought. They're like, here it comes. And instead, she decides to help them. She turns on Mesmero and the henchmen, and promptly, after using her mutant power for the first time, passes out. Now, 90s X-Men animated Jean is gonna be like, that ain't passing out. This is passing out. Let me show you what's up. Now, the X-Men, seeing their opportunity, are like, ho, 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 Mesmero, it is on. So they're about to go attack him when this barrier comes up, made of metal. That's right, y'all. And out of the shadows, like a pimp, comes our boy Magneto. Mags is back, y'all. That's right. And the X-Men are like, oh, snap. End of main story. Woo! Let's get to the backup story. The backup story is called This Boy, This Bombshell. The title, it has nothing to do with anything later. Anyway, it's a Hank story, so you can see how pumped I am about it. So Hank's dad, Norton McCoy, works at a nuclear power plant. He's not the safety inspector like a certain Sector 7G inspector from Springfield, but he gets exposed to radiation, as everyone does at a nuclear power plant, I assume. And his son is born with big hands and big feet. He can climb walls. He's what they call a strange child. Hank grows up, and when he gets to high school, he ends up, because of these attributes, becoming a football star. Now, he's, quarterback. He's whatever. He's, he's basically playing the whole game by himself, it looked like from the panels. But there's a robbery at the stadium. These robbers try to steal, whatever they took in at the gate. And for some reason, in their escape, they end up running on the field. Now, Hank stops this by throwing football helmets at people and knocking them out or whatever. Now, for some reason, that's weird enough to begin with. For some reason, this was a nationally broadcast television game from high school football. I mean, I know they're on local TV sometimes, but this was like NBC primetime. Anyway, some bad guy, we don't know who yet, sees this and he's like, I need that dude on my team. And a backup story. Okay, one thing to unpack. Is Hank a mutant? Because mutants, we learn later, get their mutant power manifested, during their adolescent years. And he was like a big hand, big feet baby as a baby. So is he a mutant? Or do they retcon that later? I don't know. If you want to leave it in the comments, I'll try not to make fun of you for being a huge Beast fan. But go ahead. Let's get some final thoughts. All right, y'all. This one's about an 8 out of 10. And let me tell you why. Because Mags is back, y'all. That's right. Our boy Magneto's back in the house, causing mischief, being awesome, and doing magnetic stuff. That bumped it up right away. I mean, our X-Men never really seemed in any danger. Like, literally, they were, like, talking to each other, having a good old time. Even, Jean was, like, Van Damme kicking somebody while she was like, oh, what are we doing after this? That was weird. So there was never really any peril that they were in. Seeing Lorna get her powers was cool. I'm not the biggest Polaris fan. I mean, I think she's a major player now in the comics in 2021, but I haven't caught up to that yet. And we's a long way off from Tommy Reed's X-Men from getting to there. That was okay. And the backup story with Hank was dumb. I mean, like, a nationally televised high school football game where the robbers jump on the field to try to get away from the police. There's better origin stories, bro. But, Hank. 8 out of 10 still. I really enjoyed this issue. If you like what you're seeing or are mildly entertained, please like and subscribe down here. Hit that bell notification in the corner and do your boy a solid. Help spread the word about the Tommy Love Stuff channel, YouTube's best kept secret. We got a lot of great stuff on the channel. I appreciate if this is your first time watching me letting you entertain you for a little bit. If this is your 50th time watching and you've seen every episode of Tommy Reed's X-Men, I appreciate your support and continue to do so. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We got a lot of great stuff on this channel. We have a bunch of ChubCon food reviews. We got some movie stuff, some wrestling stuff. So please check the playlist. Until then, we'll be back with another issue later on. Thank you. Later. Thanks is back, y'all. I'm Magneto, and I'm talking like this. I don't know if this voice is working, Charles. Stupid.